And we will begin with two representatives. One we've heard of in the weeks prior leading up to today's committee meeting, and the other one we have not. But everyone knows these two representatives. So to present Bill 423, we have Representatives Eskamani and Representative Tremont that will now present a bill entitled Student and Elopement. So you are recognized.
Thank you so much, Chair, Vice Chair, and Ranking Member. We're so thrilled to be here together in a bipartisan fashion to present this bill to you. And many members may have seen this bill last session, and I want to give a shout out to Representative McFarland, who actually last session helped us make some revisions to this bill. And we've actually tightened the definitions and parts of this bill with help of our advocacy partners that you'll hear from today. But with that said, quickly, members, this bill is focused on keeping our kids safe who are at risk of elopement. And so if you don't know, elopement in the context of autism basically refers to a child who's at risk of leaving a safe and structured environment. There's other terms also known as wandering, as someone who bolts. This is a really scary situation for families that are impacted. And there have been some tragic situations where a child runs into streets or into a body of water and into danger. We have 2 school districts that actually have elopement prevention policies already in place, and this bill attempts to mimic those policies to streamline it statewide. And you can see in your staff analysis those provisions specifically, but I think the key points to uplift is the creation of a school elopement plan with immediate parent notification, which is key in this process. Even if the child is safe, we still want the parent to be notified that elopement took place. Of course, campus search procedures, emergency services contacted only when the student is believed to be off campus and at risk. It also creates a safe team on that campus to develop and update the elopement plan universally, respond to all elopements, and train staff on what to do in the case of an elopement. And with that said, members, this bill will not be possible without the work and partnership of Representative Tremont, and that's the bill that we have for you today.
Very well. Thank you for explaining your bill. Members, do we have any questions? Representative Hinson, you are recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Who are you going to hold responsible for creating these plans and different things?
You're recognized.
Thank you so much, Chair. So the bill provides rulemaking authority to the Board of Education, as with any education policy. So it follows that same process.
Follow up?
Could you see it in my face?
It seems to be my default.
Okay, so I just wondered, will the private schools have to do this as well?
You're recognized.
Thank you so much. That's a great question. At this time, it centers on public, which would include charter schools. But when it comes to rulemaking with private schools, unless they accept public money, we don't have as much regulation over that. But at the time being, it would be traditional public schools and charter schools that fall under that jurisdiction.
Follow up, Representative? Okay. Any other questions for our sponsors? Okay, very well. Seeing none, we will move on, and there are no amendments. Do we have any public testimony on the bill? And we do. We have Donna Lorman, representing the Autism Society of Greater Orlando, and as a parent, and she is a proponent of the bill. Ms. Lorman, you are recognized.
You. Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity for me to address you today. I stand before you today as a mom of an individual on the autism spectrum and also as the president of the Autism Society of Greater Orlando. As of March 2017, the state of Florida had the second highest elopement rate in the United States of America, with 29% of those elopements occurring off of a school campus. With no real fear of danger, a child on the autism spectrum who elopes is in significant risk of harm. Drowning, abduction, and traffic accidents being 3 of the top concerns. I would like to share with you an elopement story that occurred in Orange County, Florida, several years ago. The child walked off the campus of the elementary school without notice. Mom contacted the school when the child did not get off the bus. the school was able to determine that the child had left the campus on foot. Police found him over a mile away in a McDonald's parking lot. Thankfully, this example had a happy ending. Most won't. Every second that a child on the autism spectrum is missing is crucial. Therefore, a school elopement plan is needed to ensure the safety of the student. Currently, Broward and Polk counties have established school elopement protocols. Without a detailed, standardized procedure for management and action, the safety of our most vulnerable population is at severe risk. Therefore, we encourage you to support House Bill 423 to ensure the safety of those on the autism spectrum who elope from school. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. We have Chris, I believe it's Pagel, representing themselves, and they wave in support. We have Monica Carretero, representing the Autism Society of Greater Orlando and as a parent, and she is a proponent of the bill. Ms. Carretero, you are recognized.
Good afternoon. Thank you for your service and your leadership. I am the mom of a 14-year-old son on the spectrum. When he was younger, he eloped from his classroom multiple times. Each time it happened, there was no formal plan in place. Teachers and school staff did the only thing they could think of, which was run after him. But chasing a frightened child with autism is not a protocol. It's a reaction. My son did not run because he was being defiant. He ran because he was overwhelmed and trying to escape a situation that he could not process. Like many children with autism, he had no awareness of danger. He didn't understand traffic. He didn't recognize strangers as risks. He didn't know how easily something terrible could happen. Students with autism who elope are at a significantly higher risk of serious harm or death. They are much more likely to drown than their neurotypical peers. Even more alarming, more than 1/3 of students who elope are unable to communicate basic information like their name, phone number, or address. A typical adult can walk about 3 miles per hour. That means in 10 minutes, a child can be half a mile away, and in 20, a full mile. This is if they're walking, but these kids are running. In a school setting, that distance can mean crossing a busy road, entering bodies of water, or disappearing into neighborhoods. So every second counts. Yet too many schools still lack clear standardized elopement protocols. And this bill ensures schools have proactive plans instead of reactive responses. And most importantly, it helps keeps our children safe. No parent should have to wonder whether their child will be found in time. No teacher should be forced to improvise during an emergency. And no child should be placed at risk because a system failed to plan. So please, I respectfully urge you to support HB 423. Sorry, thank you.
Thank you very much. We have Laura Lee Minutello, representing Disability Rights of Florida. She is a proponent and wishes to appear in person. Hello, Laura Lee. How are you?
I'm great, Chair. Thank you. Thank you, members of the committee. I'm going to actually go back a little bit and give a little bit of context. I know, Chair Rizzo, you promised me some time. I know you have other bills to hear, but I really think the context of how we, and specifically DRF, got to our support is important because it's how the process should work. So this bill has been a couple of years in the making, a few years in the making, and originally, I'll be honest, DRF was not thrilled about this bill. We had grave concerns about the pro forma calling of law enforcement. The definition of elopement was left open to apply to all students, in our view, in our opinion, with autism, even though we know that the intent of the bill was to narrow down to those with elopement risks and those who, as has been said, really have no concept of the danger that they could be running into. And so we worked over the last few years with ASGO and Donna and Monica and Rep Eskamani, and it's really, I mean, it honestly is a credit to how this process should work and that the consensus work product that we all came to. And so we are proud to support this bill, and the definition of elopement, we feel, does get more to the point of those folks that really need it. So those that have demonstrated history of elopement risk, those that are known to be off campus and a harm to themselves. It doesn't cover things like intentional class skipping or things that we know even students with autism and disabilities could engage in. It's very important from a DR perspective that we maintain that agency. It also really tries to focus a little bit. We wish it would focus a little bit more, and perhaps that's as it moves through the process, but it tries to focus on that student-centered risk planning. So there's the elopement plan for the school, and then each student and their parent and their team will do a student-centered plan that is specific to that student. So we really like that part of the bill. And at its heart, I think that we really have to look at school. You know, I know there are always some that'll say, you know, kind of to Rep Hinton's question, like, who are you holding responsible for this? Like, this may be a lot for the public school, but really it is safety planning. That's what we're asking. And so we should have safety planning for all students, and there is. So we're asking for just specific safety planning for those that need it, you know, maybe a little bit more than others. And so DRF is proud to support it, proud to continue to work. We do have one kind of outstanding concern with the bill, which I know we've talked about, and that is that students with autism a lot of times can be in school till 21, and we know that a number of students who may fall under the need for this elopement plan might be under guardianship or might be under different things where that the plans would just carry. But for those that reach the age of 18 and have their decision-making rights, we just want to be sure that the plans transfer to them and the control of the plan as far as the meetings that would take place or, you know, would transfer. And so I know that that's not in the majority of who the bill would target, but we know that, you know, autism is a spectrum and can manifest different ways. So somebody with, say, level 1 autism could, at times of stress, have elopement risks and things like that. So we just want to make sure that as those rights transfer to students, if appropriate, the rights to the plan and the involvement of the plan also transfer. But other than that, we are very proud of this bill, and honestly, really more proud of the process. We have testified for info on this bill before, and wasn't really sure we would get to the place of support, but DRF is proud to support it. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Next, we have Mr. John Meeks Jr. representing himself, and he is a proponent of the bill. Mr. Meeks, you are recognized.
Thank you, and good afternoon, committee, members of the committee, and to Dr. Eskamani. I am speaking as an individual because I teach at Mayport Coastal Sciences Middle School in Atlantic Beach, and I work with ESC children. And I have two things to say. Number one, I discovered recently I'm on the spectrum. I'm a person who has autism. And I prayed to find some way I could help the community. So my prayers were answered when I saw this bill. Because there were actions I did as a child that were not seen as autistic. I remember my mom went door to door in my neighborhood in Orange Park looking for me. And she cried when she found me because I didn't know I had eloped, but I did. I nearly drowned as a child because I didn't have any concept of this drainage ditch in South Carolina outside my aunt's house. And I touched the bottom of that ditch. And just as I drew my last breath, my cousin pulled me out of the water. So I can feel and understand the struggle of those children and families. And that is why I support this legislation. And I appreciate you for giving us a fair hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for what you do as a teacher as well. Very well. This ends the public testimony of our bill presentation. We are now in debate. Vice Chair Bankson, you're recognized in debate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, I was going to say this is a good bill, but I changed my mind. This is a great bill. You know, thank you to all those who came and spoke. It just so underscores and, you know, helps people to relate who can't necessarily relate, haven't had those experiences. And, you know, as a pastor, we have one of our ministers who has a child on the spectrum, and they tend to have a running instinct. And it is not rebellion. It's not this or that. It's something that they don't understand, and yet they can find themselves in very dangerous situations. And it is so important that we have a standard that is carried statewide, because, again, this is something that we've seen sadly grow in exponential numbers, and we need to address it. So thank you both for coming together. This is a great bill, and I'm co-sponsoring and urge everyone else to.
Thank you, Vice Chair. We will now go to Representative Benaroche. You are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I wasn't going to debate because it's a great bill, but I feel like I need to, number one, thank you for a great bill. Sir, stories are powerful, and I appreciate you coming up here and telling your story, because this is exactly what we need to hear. So I commend you on that. I know it wasn't easy, but we get you and we're listening. And what a better time to do it with this kid sitting there in the back, because it's a learning experience for them, not only to see a bipartisan bill, for the greater good of a community that sometimes I feel have been left behind, probably unintentionally, because a lot of us cannot relate. And as a mom, I know my kids, 18 and 20, sometimes they don't text me back, and I worry. I can't imagine what it is to not know where your child is. So thank you. I just wanted to say thank you for coming up here. Hope you guys learned something today, and I'll be supporting this bill.
Thank you, Representative. We will now go to Representative Michael. You are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, representatives, for this bill. It's amazing. You texted me about it, and I told you it's a great bill. And it is. It's awesome. And I want to say to Mr. Meeks, I've been on tour to Mayport Middle School. I know I probably look different because I changed my hair and nobody recognizes me, but before you leave, I definitely want to get a hug today. So thank you for coming and testifying, and all the others that came and spoke. And this is wonderful. And I will co-sponsor in your honor. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Hinson, you are recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. And I did ask you the question about who, because unless someone is held accountable, it may not. I hope as your bill progresses, I'm sorry, we're hearing it again. It should have made it last time. I see no reason why we're not proceeding full speed ahead to create a safe plan. But a safe plan is only as good as the person implementing it. And DOE is vast. I hope we can get DOE to appoint a role or a person, or even create a role for a safe plan. I've told you before, I have an autistic granddaughter. She's quite successful right now in her life, but back in the day, she would get overwhelmed and luckily hide within the school. She would stay inside the building when she got overwhelmed, but nevertheless, who knows where she was until they found her, and it could be hours. So thank you for this plan, but it's only as good as the person implementing it. I'm saying it again. I understand young lady saying that, but we need a designated person that we can hold responsible so that we know this plan not only will be created, but would be implemented full speed ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Representative. Seeing no further debate, representatives, you are recognized to close on your bill.
Thank you so much, Chair. I'm going to pass the mic to my prime co to close.
It's so Jacob loves to run and Kennedy just loves to run. It's an important bill. I wasn't prepared to close, so
My bad.
thank you all. You know, a message out there to the folks. Florida House cares. Caring has never been a problem. It's we don't know what we don't know, you know. So so appreciate everybody here, and I can go through a countless number of stories of places we've found Jacob, and my mind goes to 1,000 places where we would have found Kennedy. So you know, it's not just personal to me, but it is to the lives of so many people who have come here. So. And frankly, it's the only bill I can run and get a Eskamani. So, all the personal stories aside, it's well worth it. I ask for your support.
Having closed on his bill, Megan, please call the roll.
Here, Rizzo.
Yes.
Representatives Antone,
Yes.
Bankson,
Yes.
Benaroach,
Yes.
Burfield,
Absolutely.
Blanco,
Yes.
Dunkley,
Yes.
Gerwig,
Yes.
Henson,
Yes.
Hodgers,
Yes.
Lopez,
Yes.
McFarland,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Owen,
Yes.
Tendrich,
Yes.
Yurkowski. 15 yeas, 0 nays.
Having members, by your vote, HB 423 will be reported favorably. Thank you. And please, on your way out of the committee room, ask the sergeants to send more Kleenex. We need them. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, members.